represent, yeah, we represent. Yeah, we represent.
There we go. So we got kind of a super group coming up. Stay tight and enjoy.
Peace. My name, I go by dibiase. I brought some friends with me. This is my nephew, lowkey. This is my bro, tvkii. And we just gonna do like some beats back and forth on the OPZ and the XY. And man, let's go. Set it off, fam.
check me out, yo. Check me out, yo.
Thank you. Shout out to Teenage Engineering, man. Like, bruh. Man, what more can you say, man, about they on some different level with the portability, from the KOs to the rhythms to the OP1s, XY, OPZ. Oh, my bad. Still learning.
So dibiase, you and I were talking about getting on the Midnight Operations show. It would be an honor to have you on. We've been talking about it. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much for coming out. Awesome. Thank you guys for showcasing. Awesome. Thank you so much. Peace, bro.
Midnight Operations,
So we got
episode
Humongous
21.
Frog.
And there we go. Hey, Donnell, how you doing?
Fine and you, man.
I'm good, thanks. That was the open aux back at the Tirebiter where you guys came through. That was a fun thing.
I used to live around the corner from there, which is crazy. And there was
really?
Yeah, it was never any shows. I just remember going to the 7-Eleven that was next door, and they had some food spots, but it's like super close to USC, the college. So, that was cool when I saw it was in that area. I was like, oh, snap. But it was a good vibe.
I'm looking at the screen here. You got an interesting setup.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I came up with a few little things last night, a little discovery with the pocket operator. This the PO33 right here.
Yep. I see the boxers.
I got the custom case. It's a glow-in-the-dark case from Beatmaker Boutique.
I was going to shout out. You did it. Cool. I never used any of their cases, but I've seen them all around, like the MPC cases and this one.
Yeah.
They're really fresh.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So it's inspired by Ninja Turtles, so it glows in the dark.
Obviously.
Yeah, man. No, I came up with a discovery with the pocket operator. So I'm running my drums from the KO2, and it's running into the input of the pocket operator. And then I have it going directly to the TX6. But this pocket operator is acting as a soft clipper. It's kind of going into the pocket operator kind of hot, but it's not distorting. And so if I went directly to the TX6 from the KO2, it wouldn't sound as knocking or punchy, and then I have the volume all the way to the max, holding BPM, and it's probably like right there, almost to the max. But it's basically like a soft clipper. Sometimes I run it through the MPC sometimes, but this is a lot more portable than an MPC in the setup.
And a lot cheaper also.
Yes, exactly. So it's just basically a pass through, and you can kind of just push the gain a little bit, and then sometimes I'll just run it directly to the OPXY, and you kind of get some of the sound character that way. And I don't even have nothing. I have the compressor on default, the master compressor. I'm not even pushing the drive at all.
Right, yeah. So that volume 16 level on the pocket operator really pushes it.
Yes. And then I have like a little bit of compression on the TX6. So the drums is going into channel 1. And then I have it synced to the OPXY for my sample chops. And it's synced from the MIDI all the way to the sync. The sync in on the KO2 is going to the sync out on the OPXY. So when I press start on the OPXY, it starts both of them, the KO2 and the... So now I can control it on the TX6. And I have a little bit of compression on the drum track and also the sample track. And then I have another sampler with my vocal drops. So I can just play it. I can play it. Then I just make a bunch of drum patterns, and then I can make a bunch of sample chops on the OPXY and kind of low-key just make multiple beats in one session, which is kind of fun. I might just go over that real quick.
I'm curious what friend you have to the side.
Oh, it's a P6.
Sweet. So is that going through as well?
That's going to a channel on the TX6. But it has different, you know those sounds.
Yeah.
Sounds.
Of course.
And then
I love the format of these. I mean, they're so so cool, so compact, and they sound amazing.
The crazy thing is with the bit rate on the P6, you can do 44, 22, 14, or 11 hertz, and put it inside of the KO2 and the rhythm. Like it reads those bitrate conversions, which is crazy. I guess on a later update, it was able to read those.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, that
to save some space and to add some flavor, I guess.
Yeah, you get the artifacts with the not quite SP1200, but it gets kind of dirty though. Yeah, this is a fun little workflow, and then I have the rhythm. I have I like the loop launching ability on the rhythm. I'll plug that up into a track real quick.
So we got the KO2. We have the Beatmakers Boutique case on the KO. We have a TP7 I can see. We have a TX6 as kind of the main mixer. The XY, I see a OP1 field. A lot of colorful, nice cables.
Yeah.
And there's, I don't know what the mic is you're holding. Is that the CM15? There we go. Okay. And you're rocking black, I see.
Yeah, you got the field kit. It's like the ultimate portable setup. And then I also have the OP.
How portable is that, though?
Oh,
well,
man.
it's portable, but you got a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, you know, I'll bring maybe 2 at a time.
Right.
Or maybe 3, depending.
Right.
But yeah, it's easy to go on the flight with this.
Right.
I got cases for it all, so it's real portable. It beats taking a MPC, a larger MPC on a train,
Right.
stuff like that. But yeah, no, but this OP1 field, sometimes I'll get different sounds, and I'll run it directly. It's going through the KO2, which is going through the PO33.
Yep. You have some effects going on the input of the KO2?
No effects. It's dry right now, but
Mhm.
if I wanted to process some samples, I can do that. Then I have my sample library inside of the TP7. So
Nice.
so I do all the sample chopping on the OPXY and do the drums on the KO2. It's like I can obviously do everything in the OPXY or the KO2, but I want to have the ability to track it out and then do the multi-track recording in the TP7. Then you can export the stems and
Right.
good to go. So it gives me flexibility in mixing.
And it's also quite fun to be able to touch the sound like that.
Oh yeah, it's fun. So there's one feature on the OP1 field that I like. It's also on the OG OP1. It's the endless sequencer. So find it. So sometimes I'll take a hi-hat and I'll duplicate it maybe twice. So I'll hit the copy button. I copy it, and when you make your kits on the OP1, it's like one long audio file, but you notice it has a little bit of space in front of it. So before the next sound, so I can get some silent space before the hi-hat. And sometimes I'll get
That's a power move.
Yeah, so it's like the air swing technique.
Right.
And then I can go inside of the endless sequencer and just, depending on the setting, if it's 1/8, I can do that and just, or if I do 1/16. Then let's see what it's in. Then I also got to turn the volume down on the second hi-hat. So I'll make hi-hat loops, and then I'll sample this into the KO too. And then, depending on the BPM, I have to match the BPM of the project. Let's see what this BPM is. It's 87. So let's sample that onto an empty track. Let's make sure I gotta.
How much do you usually capture?
Just a little.
That was just a bar or something.
Yeah, just a few.
Oh, sorry, a beat, basically.
Yeah, just a quick beat, like maybe like 4 of the notes. So it's not that long, so I could sequence it now. So if I got the kick, probably should have put it on the other group, but I ran out.
That was taken, right? It was all populated.
Yes. So I'll normally just go to an empty scene. So I have like different drum patterns on the different scenes. trim some of the excess of that sample. I don't need it to be that long, but I can layer that with one of those drum patterns since it's the same BPM. Just basically build loops like that. So I'm just making a bunch of different drum patterns and it's all the same BPM, and then I might get a different sample and sample it directly to the OPXY, so I can do something like this. So this sample is technically only on one pad, but I'm doing parameter lock chopping. I can have different samples on each pad, technically, and I'm just chopping on the sequencer. So as long as the pattern is, I'm just like live automating the start point for my chops. Then I can sample a totally different sample on this pad now, which is empty, and I can just find something like, and then I can also listen to the drum pattern while the sample is playing, since my drums is on a different track. So I can audition the drum pattern and see if the sample kind of goes with it while I'm auditioning it.
That's a nice stereo effect you got there.
Yeah, so these some samples from my nephew, Lowkey. He gets crazy. Like, I like the moody type of samples. So reason I put my whole sample library on the TP7, it's like I don't need to go to the computer anymore. And also, since the OPXY has 20 seconds of sampling and the KO2 as well, I need to pitch up my samples. So with the TP7, you can get into pitch mode. You can pitch it up like instantly. I used to have to run my samples into Koala and pitch it up and then pitch it back down when I put it in the OPXY or the OP1 and all that stuff. So now I can just pitch it up like a real turntable and just get that. It's like a portable turntable.
Right, exactly.
So now I can just go to this empty pad now and just latch record and just got it. With this method, I'm able to layer different samples. So once I have the sample in here, I could kind of pitch it before sampling into it now while I'm auditioning. So now I could pitch this down now to -12. So now we can the parameter lock chopping. So I just basically put a bunch of samples on each pad, and I'm parameter lock chopping them, and it's like basically building a set inside of one session. So I
Right.
can have a whole bunch of different drum patterns, and I can match the loops, and I kind of work inside of the rhythm the same way. So
Mm.
So I'm just making variations as I go. So if I wanted to make a whole different, totally different other sample, I have this next empty pad and then going through different samples, and I can audition. Or I could get another section of the sample. Like it's like, man, it just it's really efficient once you get in the zone. I'm just so now I can just Yeah, so I'm basically just building it as it goes. But I'll try to make like maybe 5 to 6 beats inside of one session, and I know that it's all cohesive in the same BPM, and then I might make a whole different other session and maybe bump the beat up 2 BPMs. So this one is like 87, so the next session might be like 89. And then I'll have like another 5 beats that I know is all cohesive with each other, and then I might bump it up to 92 and then work my way up to 120. And I'm basically kind of building the set as I'm making beats. Like
Right. So it's good to capture a long period of the pad sample or the chords or whatever, and then you just parameter locking the start position basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I can duplicate the loop to like 4 or 8 bars, and then I'll just add some extra notes and just add variations to it, and then I'll try to keep it to like maybe 3 different clips for a beat.
Right.
I'll just link them all together and adding the mute outs and sound effects, and then it's like I can record it straight to the TP7 and then just the assembly line.
When you perform, how do you prepare for different scenarios?
So normally I'll do my sets in a 4/4, but lately I've been contemplating doing something different with this rhythm. Basically, when you edit the loop mode on the rhythm, it's like you can launch the clip and it's in time, in sync, and you're able to do mute outs. So if I can, let me see if I can load this session up. And so I have different drum loops on bank A. It's all
The whole
time.
bank basically?
The whole bank is different drum loops.
Right.
So you have the measured recording on the KO and the rhythm. So I might do like a 2-bar measure when I record, or maybe 4 bars, but I try to keep it friendly with the sampling time.
Right.
But
So you go hands-free sampling, and then you use plus and minus to set the length
yep.
that you want to make sure you capture exactly 1 bar, 2 bars, or whatever.
So I'll do 2 bars, and then I'll
Right.
get a variation of drums of another 2 bars, but it's all the same BPM. And then bank B is all my samples. And then I have and the crazy thing is you can mute it out on time and it starts on time. That is crazy to me. So I could just so all these sample loops, they assign to the same choke group, so it can mute each other out.
Right.
And it's all in sync, so I'll have a few vocal drops. Then it's fun. This feature alone made this one my favorite one in the series. That feature alone is super clutch. So I'll have a bunch of different samples, and then I'll do a whole different session, a different project, and there'll be a different BPM. Try to have like 5 beats per project. This has 128 megabytes instead of 64, so you can do a little more. And if I do pitch up the sample, I can squeeze a little more time into it. But yeah, that's a fun
fun workflow as well. And yeah, I started out on this one sampler, the Gemini sampler in '94. So this right here. So this was my very first sampler. This was the first thing I used to use with a Walkman. Sample from tapes, or I would sample directly from the radio station, which is kind of crazy how the OP1 has the radio where you could sample from the radio. So that reminded me of my old workflow before I had a turntable. I used to just sample with this sampler. It's the DS1224. It's a 24-second sampler. I was using that in high school, and I had a Sony Walkman, one of them yellow ones, with a Radio Shack tape deck. So I would just record my drum loop and then just like trigger it for like 2-3 minutes, and then I would layer it with a piano. I'll find something on a radio station and layer that. But then eventually I got a 4-track, and then I would just do my drum loop for 2 minutes and then piano on track 2 for 2 minutes on top of them drums. So lately I've been doing that same method but using the OP1 as the 4-track. So kind of going back to my roots. Yeah, I spend a lot of time with some samplers, man.
And you teach this also, right?
Yes. So I'm gonna be doing some workshops with the rhythm. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all hooked me up with some rhythm. So I'm doing a workshop at a makerspace, Sacramento, in Oak Park, at Cap City. So we're gonna get that going very soon, and it's like different workshops with Serato Studio, but the hardware will be the rhythm,
right?
And different samplers, but it's gonna be pop-ups. So we'll go through different workflows, like how to make the beats, how I set up stuff with the loop modes and all of that, and just yeah, man. And then sometimes we did pop-ups at video game conventions, and we had the petting zoo of equipment, and they was able to mess with the equipment, and they always gravitate to the KO too, the ting, the rhythm and ting. That seemed like it's a favorite, especially when I started doing the workshops with the kids. But I'm always teaching classes, and then I do the online one-on-one sessions with people. So sometimes people book sessions, and I show them different workflows. Some few people wanted to know how to connect the KO2 with the OP1 and just different routing systems. So I had somebody wanted to know how to hook up the OPZ with the pocket operator. That was a fun workflow too.
And I bet you learned a bunch of things while teaching.
Yeah, that was like my little workflow before I had the OPXY. So I would do the drums on the OPZ, sample chops on the PO33, and I'm routing it through the input, and I'm able to automate like LFOs and filters, and then I'm just chaining my patterns, my sample chop patterns on the PO33, and I don't know. It's like your equipment is way different than like coming from an MPC head. It's like you have to think out the box,
right?
Like how you attack, like with the step components. It's like that's crazy, man. I wouldn't think of that when I was only using the MPC and 404. It's like a whole different approach. So it's like each sampler has its superpower, of course.
Exactly. I believe so also. I'm a drum machinist.
I see you back there.
We have the different sounds, of course, but then each machine has its own quirk, has its own features, has its own soul. And I love that we're open to connecting, and we're enabling people to connect with whatever they got.
Yeah.
So I think that's good.
Nah, it's definitely nah, it's fun. I feel like we're in a golden age of samplers right now. Like it's like we had our golden age of hip hop music and all kind of stuff, but I feel like we're in the golden age of drum machines and samplers and software, all of that. It's
Yeah.
like when I was on this 8-second sampler in high school, I used to wish I had some real equipment, and just like it was difficult to get stuff. So I was like, man, once I get some real equipment, I'm gonna make the most of it. And it's like now it's like I still remember those days. That's why I keep my first sampler
Right.
to this day. And but yes, I don't know, it keeps it exciting just trying different combinations. So a lot of times I'm figuring out different combinations and what suits me best at the time. But
And I know I've been sharing your technique of air swing.
yeah.
Right.
So
I've been sharing that with some friends of mine, and oh, that's smart. And so it's just unlocking the knowledge that you
Yeah.
have and sharing that. We don't have to be competitive, or we don't have to just keep our knowledge in. We just share it, and then music
Yeah.
will happen. And yeah.
Nah, it's funny when I was starting making beats, I used to go to some studios because I used to rap, and we needed beats and stuff. So there was a few people in the neighborhood had an MPC, but they had it midied up to a keyboard. So for 2 years, I didn't know the MPC could chop samples,
Mm.
cause they was telling me, oh no, it only has these keyboard sounds in it, but he was withholding that knowledge. And I went to a different studio. He said the same thing. And then I think maybe like 3 years later, I went to a different studio, but this guy was a DJ, and he had the same MPC there, but he had it attached to a turntable, and he had a bunch of Crater records. And then I saw him sample the record in the MPC, and he chopped it, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is what DJ Premier uses.
Right.
Or something that chops samples. And I'm like, they lied to me for 2 years. But they wanted to be the only one on the block with the MPC. And then once I found out it could sample, I got the MPC 2000. This was like 97.
Yep.
And then yeah, that kind of started the monster, or taking it serious once I got that. And then it's like I just started collecting drum machines, same as you. I got like the 900 S900 and the SP12 in the closet right now. But yeah, man, I wish I had all the drum machines I had back in the day. It'll look like a museum in here.
Right. Yeah, same. My first drum machine was the 505.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I liked it. I mean, it sounded okay, especially I like the hi-hats and I like the sound of it, but I used it mostly as a external MIDI trigger. So I triggered MIDI through 16 channels of, whatever else I had in my studio at the time. So I could use the drum machine sequencer workflow to play my other stuff, because I'm not a keyboard player, but I like to program. So that's how I used that one. And I still have it. And my first keyboard was the Casio SK1.
Oh, yeah, that's the dirty one with that sampler.
Yeah, the small one with the little sampling button, the yellow one in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
And a funny story is when I was invited to Teenage Engineering for the first time, back when because I wasn't part of it, was developing OP1. I was sat in front of this, and then I got to listen to it and kind of try to figure it out. And I heard some drums that I recognized, and there were some SK1 samples in the drum section.
Oh, wow.
So I felt like Oh, this is a full circle moment. I had a tear come down my cheek, and this, okay, this is beautiful to me. So
Yeah.
that was a fun experience. I unfortunately sold the SK1 back in the days, but yeah, good memories from that one.
You could find them at a thrift store. I might have had a Casio drum machine. It was like it had a sampler on it. It was kind of big, but it had like maybe like 2 second sample time. But I didn't know about the pitching up the samples back in the day. So it was like I was just using the built-in drums on it, and I could have been processing drum sounds on that because it was like a real dirty sampler. Yeah, I'm gonna just try to get my original first setup, and then possibly do a live stream just attacking my first workflow with what I know now.
You stream regularly?
Yeah, I took a break, but I was streaming every 2 weeks. I was doing a sample challenge, like DB flip sessions on YouTube, and I'll have like different guest curator make some samples, and then my Discord they'll have a week to make make their flips, and then I'll do a live stream and I'll flip the same sample, and then I'll listen to all the submissions, and then I'll pick a winner. Sometimes I have prizes. I did like a team challenge one time, so I paired up 2 to 3 people, and they collabed and made a beat, and then we had different teams, and that went pretty good. And then me and my boy Monsrock, we came up with more of an in-person cook-up where we meet up at a record store,
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
and different producers will be on Zoom. So we'll have like a location in New York, Chicago, Philly, Toronto, Dallas, Austin, Yellow Springs, Ohio, LA, and they're all cooking up from the same sample, and then we'll do playback from each location. After that, we'll get all the beats, the submissions, and we'll make a free beat tape where people can download all the submissions. And then we have a Wednesday night weekly out there in Sacramento. So we do an open aux. So we do like we have like a cipher where we have like 3 different producers going back to back for like 10 minutes, and then we'll pair up another 3 producers, and then another 3, and then we'll have a featured guest at the end of the night. Whenever you come out West Coast, man, or the Bay Area, make it out to Sacramento on a Wednesday night, and yeah, man.
That's where is that?
Yeah, that's how the Wednesday nights is. Sometimes it be like people first time, and they'll be nervous, and then they get over their jitters, and they come back the next week. Then you see them start gradually just getting, more acclimated with being on stage. And then it was some people who used to be shy, didn't do none of that. Now they hosting.
Right,
events.
exactly. What does it take to host a thing like that in your mind?
It's just having a location, and then being consistent. So even when we're tired, we do it every Wednesday. We got lucky with this location. Like normally they play jazz there on the weekends and stuff, live instrumentation, but they had me play some beats while they had a live drummer. And then the very next day, my other friend Domo, he had his drum machine, and they did some live instrumentation. Then the owner was like, man, we want y'all to do this every Wednesday. So we turned it to an open aux. So we were doing a regular, one person played like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then another person, but we wasn't getting to the list quick, so we kind of just changed the format and did the 3-man ciphers, and it's been cool. And then we'll have like MCs hop up freestyle throughout the night over the beats, and sometimes dancers come. So it's cool. So we've been doing it about 1.5 years now, But Flip a Beat Club, we're going on 5 years as far as doing the cook-ups and different events in Sacramento. But I used to go to this one store that sold equipment. They sell like DJ equipment there, but they would sell pocket operators there. So that was like
what was the store?
World of Stereo.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So they had the OPZ there, the OP1. They had all of that. So that was like my little secret location to get them. When I originally got it, I got it from LA at Perfect Circuit, but I don't have access to go to LA like snap of a finger like that. But when I found it in Sacramento and that was my secret spot, I was going there all the time, and I was telling them to let me do some kind of event here. So I did the flip session in person there. So I had people flip a sample. They had a week, and then they came to the actual store, and then they played their beats in person, and then I had a couple of people do some beat sets, and then I did a demo on a piece of gear that they sold at the store. So I think the 404 had just dropped the MK2, so I did it. And then the very next week we did Flip a Beat Club, so it's like 2 different producer events, like back to back, and then we just kept it going. And then I stopped doing the flip sessions in person because I think the pandemic spiked up again, so I just put all the focus to the Flip a Beat Club events, and then did the flip sessions online on Discord, and now we going on 5 years.
So how do people reach you best?
So if they want to learn, like book a session, I have dibiasebeats.com, and then my Instagram, which is the real dibiase, DAREALDIBIASE.
Everyone, do check out dibiase if you want to learn from the best. This is a great opportunity, and we'll let everyone know when those workshops are dropping. So thank you again so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Word.
Yeah, we represent.